Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're working on a 2005 Toyota 4Runner that has a clunk in the front end. So have someone grab onto a door and rock it side to side and crawl underneath and see if you can see what's clunking. On this one it was a sway bar, and I'm going to zoom in on the sway bar right here. You can see it moving up and down in the bushing. Here's a closer view of that, and then I'm going to play that one more time so you can see what to look for. To change out these bushings, we're going to unbolt the sway bar from the frame. You only have to remove the rear bolts and then loosen the front because the bracket is slotted, so you can slide that sway bar back and remove it from the frame without removing that front bolt. Once you slide it back, you can slide the bracket or the clamp off of the sway bar bushing and then remove the bushing from the sway bar itself. They are labeled left and right, and they have an arrow pointing forward. Once you have the old bushing off, you can just put the new bushing right back on. They are split on one side, and they will fit a little tighter with the new bushing than the old bushing, so you'll have to push a little bit to get this bracket back over that bushing. Get both sides ready, and then we can lift the sway bar up onto those bolts that were sticking out. And once we get those started, then we can install the rear bolts. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video was to remove the skid plate. There are 4 12mm bolts holding that skid plate onto the frame, so once you remove those, you can get the skid plate down and gain access to the sway bar bushings. If you're only doing the sway bar end links, you do not have to pull the skid plate off. And if you're only doing the sway bar bushings, then you don't have to pull the tires off. You have to remove the tires to get to the links and pull the skid plate off to get to the bushings. And since I'm doing both on this vehicle, I just went ahead and pulled the tires and the skid plate off in the beginning. Now, if you have trouble getting the bolts to line up, you may have to take a pry bar and slide that bracket forward. I just couldn't get enough forward motion out of it without getting a pry bar in there to push on it. So that's it for the bushings. If you need to do the sway bar links as well, we're going to move on to that right now. So these bushings, the boots are all torn up. We got dirt and water getting in there, damaging the joint. So I'm just going to spray the nut with some penetrating oil before I get started. And I went ahead and did this on both sides of the vehicle. And the nuts on this are 17mm as well. The sway bar link connects the knuckle down to the sway bar. And I got luckier than normal. They came right out. If yours are rusted up and that nut does not want to come off, there is a 6mm Allen socket in the center of the bolt. So you may have to use a 17mm wrench and then a 6mm Allen wrench to loosen it up. Now these links are different side to side, so make sure to match them up. And my new links came with locking nuts. I don't always like these because sometimes they make it difficult to install and remove the nuts in the future. And if I zoom in here, you can see that blue nylon in there. So I decided to reuse the factory nuts. Now one benefit of this is it does have that hex on the back. So if the nut is spinning the bolt, then you can just get a crescent wrench or a large wrench in there and hold the stud from the back side instead of using the Allen wrench. So once you get these tight, the sway bar links are done. You can put your tires back on and torque those down, get your skid plate back on, you'll be good to go. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and click on the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.